Next thing I want to make, this technique, it's called the beurre fondue or melted butter. Really, really useful because in a way, this to me is like the sixth mother sauce. The trick is to heat this up so it doesn't separate. Now we do that by starting with some water. Okay, and we're going to bring that up to simmer. And then we're going to add our butter. And what we're going to do is add it a little at a time and whisk it. Very similar technique to making like a beurre blanc, where you're starting with vinegar and shallots and using that instead of water for the base. But this, when you're doing the beurre fondue, you start with something that's really neutral. And if you wanted to poach shellfish, for instance, you want to butter poach lobster, which is a popular dish on menus these days, you would have to make beurre fondue to start that. So now you have the butter, and the water is, you can see it's simmering, okay? Add the butter and start whisking. Now, also, you can lower the flame a little bit. Really, really useful. This is something you'll see in a lot of, in kitchens. We usually make about a gallon of this every single night. And what we use it for, if we're making mashed potatoes, instead of putting butter in it, we just use this because it's already melted. We also use this almost as a base for sauces. So if you want to, you can take this and add a handful of chopped herbs and you have like an herb butter. That's great for fish, even great for chicken, stuff like that. You want to make a cider sauce, for instance, apple cider. You reduce apple cider, maybe some shallots, and then add the butter in the same method and you make a butter sauce that way. I like to cook fish right in this. So if you had a pot and you had a piece of raw fish, you could just kind of drop it in there and gently let it poach and cook. And then add some herbs to it and you have built-in sauce and a cooking medium for the fish as well. So you see, again, it's staying together, it's not broken. And that's it. Now, if you were using an inferior pan or it's aluminum or something, number one, you get spots that can actually, flare up and cause it to break. But you see, this is gently cooking. You want to maintain temperature, but you really don't want this to boil, okay? If it gets too cold, the butter will start to solidify and it'll break. If it gets too hot, it'll also break. If you're making your butter sauce and you're holding it and you notice that it starts to get kind of greasy around the edges, just add some water to it and that'll prevent it from breaking. It doesn't necessarily take the place of a thickened sauce like a roux or something like that. It's kind of its own thing. If you're making chicken pot pie, you need to make a velouté, that would be a different thing. You wouldn't use this. This would break once it got in the oven. So yeah, this won't take the place of a thickened white sauce, but it's really versatile and can be used for a lot of different things. But that's pretty much it. A quick, simple butter sauce that is really, really versatile. And again, this is like kind of an advanced technique that you don't even see in a whole lot of cookbooks, but I just find it to be really, really useful.